We've got another pile here. I'm just going to start to wash them. Just to take the excess off, because once you take the excess off, then you find they'll actually dry better. And then you really, this is a perfect example. You get all these different layers between, coming forward, which is really fascinating. It's actually from both a practical perspective and an artistic perspective, it's better to get you've dumped too much paint on them. They're just not going to dry any time before Christmas. So you really want to try to get that extra paint off. It's like a person. These are great kind of Rorschach tests. Which I guess is also part of that people's interpretation of what something is. Great dynamics that once you've actually painted the Emma in the workshop, you have your own personal idea about what it is. But once you finish the workshop, or you finish the painting element of the workshop, and you open that up to other people present, your kind of co-conspirators, your co-researchers, you get very, very different things come up, which again is utterly fascinating because it introduces this kind of third element to the Emma, which for me is where the richness lies in it. It's not necessarily just about your own personal idea, what you painted, which is, again, going back to these writerly texts that Roland Barthes talks about. They're actually, what you paint is to a degree irrelevant actually, because it's not a readerly text. You're not saying, well, this is what it is, and this is what it is. This is my childhood. Not nonsense, It's like you paint this, and do you even know what you're painting? I don't know, unless you're very, very gifted at painting. Can you make a direct connection between the kind of cognitive functions and then the motor skills, and being able to render what you wanted accurately anyway? I don't know, I probably doubt it. So it's not really about ownership anyway, it's really about statements. This is my statement, this is what I believe it to be, in a very kind of postmodern sense of this, kind of pluralist nature of understanding. It's great how you can kind of play with different, you can feel when you're washing them, you can feel the thickness of the paint in different places, and so you know really roughly how much you need to take off before you hit the wood, because otherwise it's not going to dry as well. It's interesting how some of it takes into the wood grain, and others sits on top of it. Interesting also how you get some of them, they get backs on them now, which is interesting because it introduces this different dimension that there's also a back side to them. As I was washing the other ones, which I didn't film, I was actually thinking about signing the backs of them as kind of miniature artworks, in order to kind of, this is a little bit different, but just this idea of creating value in something once it's signed on the back. Some of them are quite nice. These will be quite nice once they're finished. And I just thought, I wonder whether they would be treated differently if people were to flip them over and there was to be a signature on the back. I'm not sure, maybe we can try that on a few of them and see if they get nicked because people don't perceive a value. This is a fascinating one. Orange is now beautiful. Amazing. It's interesting because these are the ones that they built in the Duncan Gardens. They didn't build. They made these in the Duncan Gardens men's shed. These are actually the initial ones, and they're very thin. They're way too thin, but they have such a good surface on them. They're perfect for painting. These are the ply. These are the later ones that were made by Tree, which are absolutely perfect. except for that this surface on the front is quite rough, and it's not good for using pencil. I like to use pencil to overlay them, but actually these ones are pretty poor for pencil. These are a better compromise, but these are way too heavy. These were built also as an experiment, made as an experiment with Duncan Gardens men's shirts. So it is interesting how the surface affects them. These ones, as I say, these ones have a perfect surface. I think these are Malaysian exterior, exterior ply. Great surface, but way too thin. Wow, the back's like, which is the front and which is the back. That's an interesting. I haven't really played with the backs too much because usually the Emma don't have the backs. They just have a, like this one here. They have something on the back, which is usually the motif for the year or for the shrine where they came from. But also from the logistical point of view, that it would be twice as much work, and then I have to dry them. I don't really have the capacity to do that. This is just a weekend project. I've got so many weekend projects on the go, but this is just another weekend project that I can't really let interfere with my research, which is obviously my main function here. So it's really what I can get away with given the time constraints that I've got. I'm still looking for those extra 3 hours in the day. It's about what I need, I think. There we go. I should put those outside, let them dry.